LinkedIn is pretty great at a lot of things, like helping you tap into the latest trends and insights in your field. We cannot stop your coworker from tapping her pencil. LinkedIn can help you find new jobs that align with your career goals. We cannot help you find the source of that weird smell in the office fridge. Ew. And while we can't stop your coworkers from bringing their hobbies into the office, LinkedIn can help you bring your career to the next level. LinkedIn is the network that works for you.
Hello, traveler. Welcome to another episode of I Am Everything. I'm your host, Venus, and today's episode is I Am Happy. So this episode was actually inspired after having a conversation with someone that kind of shocked me. We were talking about happiness. So basically, I made a comment saying, I'm so happy. I love being happy, and being happy is so easy. I always choose happiness, and happiness is always a choice most of the time. And someone commented and was like, I'm so happy that you get to experience this, but isn't it so difficult being consistent with this? And I said, no, what do you mean? I don't understand. And his response was like, aren't you exhausted with the consistency? And he said to me that the world is tough and being happy every day is difficult. And consistently staying happy is draining, sounds draining. And we had a conversation, and I understood what he meant, because there was a point in my life where I would have agreed with him as well. I don't talk much about my past because it's the past, and also I do not identify with the person I was. It's a version of me that I do not know. But when I was younger, especially in my middle school, high school years, I was deeply unhappy, and I don't even say that lightly. Like, if you knew me back then, you knew I hated my life. I hated myself. I didn't want to be here. It was so bad. Not only was I being bullied, but I struggled so much mentally. And I carried so much pain growing up. I went through so much as a child. And whenever I tell people my story, they're always so shocked because of who I am right now. And that's why I take my happiness very seriously, because I was on the other spectrum where I was dealing with depression, anxiety, with so much. And I understand and I know what it feels like to not be happy. So when I say happiness is a choice, I'm not speaking from some privileged fantasy where life has always been easy for me, because it has not. But I'm speaking from someone who had to completely rebuild the way I experience life internally. I'm a completely different person, and I'm completely different because I chose to be. It took a lot, trust me. But Yeah, I'm not saying you should fake positivity. That's not what this is. If you're sad, be sad. Like if something happens to you and you get triggered with emotions, the emotions that are not so positive, like anger, if you're angry, feel angry. If you need to cry, if you need to shout, do that. You're supposed to feel your emotions. You're human. You're having a human experience. And humans are emotional creatures. So feel your emotions. I definitely think one of the reasons I became so miserable growing up, there were so many reasons, but one of them was I wasn't allowed to feel mine fully. Literally, I would get into trouble for feeling my emotions. If I cried, I was too emotional. If I laughed too loudly or if I didn't laugh properly, I was seen as disrespectful. If I expressed myself too much, I was seen as dramatic. And I'm not talking about me showing my emotions in particular situations. No, it's just me just existing and being a child. I literally would get into trouble. I'll get beaten up if I showed too much emotion. So yeah, I honestly started to suppress everything. And when you suppress yourself, especially as a child, it turns into anxiety, it turns into depression, it turns into sadness, it turns into self-hatred, it turns into a lot of things. So this isn't me saying to you, oh, you should ignore your feelings. No, actually the opposite. I'm saying feel them fully, and then once you've had your little fit, choose yourself again afterwards. Because happiness, to me, isn't about pretending to be perfect or pretending that everything's okay. That's not what this is. It's about choosing not to live inside suffering permanently. It's about choosing thoughts that support you instead of destroy you. And I think that's what people struggle with the most. People are so used to thinking negatively. Negative thoughts are their default state. So that whenever they think positively, it feels exhausting and it feels so unnatural. But if you spend your entire day thinking life is so hard, everything is so stressful, nothing works out for me, I have such bad luck. If you're thinking all those negative thoughts every single day and you're just thinking them in your default state, think about it. What does it actually do to you? It just makes you more miserable. And your mind accepts that as truth. You're literally programming yourself to experience and feel negative things. As I said before, if you have been listening to my podcast, you already know that your thoughts heavily create your experience in life. Let me say that again. Your dominant thoughts, because not every single thought, but your dominant thought is what creates your experience. Anyways, let's take a quick little break and we will be right back.
Tires matter. They're the only part of your vehicle that touches the road. Tread confidently with new tires from Tire Rack. Whether you're looking for expert recommendations or know exactly what you want, Tire Rack makes it easy. Fast, free shipping, free road hazard protection, and convenient installation options. Go to TireRack.com to see tire test results, tire ratings, and consumer reviews, and be sure to check out all the special offers. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
Welcome back. So as I was saying, also another thing, Your happiness cannot depend entirely on other people, because if your happiness only exists when someone is texting you or when someone is validating you or when someone stays, like, what's going to happen when they leave? I was literally talking about this with my friend the other day. I said, what happens when they leave if you give all your happiness onto other people? If they leave, you lose yourself with them. So that's why it's very, 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 very important that happiness comes from within. It has to come from you. You have to make yourself happy. You have to find ways to make yourself happy. And I know some people hear this and think, like that guy, that sounds so difficult. But honestly, being miserable is also difficult, if not more difficult than being happy. Because hating myself was difficult. Overthinking was difficult. Living in anxiety and having anxiety attacks every single day, that was difficult. Literally having to pay to go to therapy and pay for all the medication I was getting to be stable because I didn't want to be here anymore. That was difficult. So sorry if I say to you, oh, I'm going to choose to be happy every day, because I would rather choose a mindset that actually supports me. And I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I just woke up one day and I was magically healed. Like, no, it took a lot of time. Just because it took time for me doesn't mean that it has to take long for you. I don't believe that it can take long. But everyone's journey is different. For me, it did take years of unlearning. It did take years of having to change my thoughts and, like I said, having to completely let go of the version of me that believed that suffering was normal. But eventually, over time, and with practice and patience and consistency, happiness has now become my default state. When I wake up in the morning, I'm thinking amazing, positive thoughts. I don't allow negative thoughts to be experienced in my mind. It's not even a thing. So, and even if I do think negative thoughts, I don't care, because I know that I'm happy regardless. A thought is a thought. I don't have to identify with a thought if I don't like it. And happiness is now my default state. Literally because I decided to change the way I want to experience life and see life from a more joyful perspective and see life from a more happy and lighter perspective. Because right now, I genuinely love being alive. I love existing. I love experiencing things. I love myself. I very, very much love myself. I love being happy. I love laughing out loud. I love that I can just experience my emotions no matter when, no matter what. I love being myself. I just have so much love within myself, and it's so amazing. And I literally feel myself becoming more happier and more beautiful every single day. Like, this is the happiest I've been ever since I've been on this earth in this life. It's the happiest I've been. And I know with more time and experience, and the more I grow, I know I'm going to continue to be happier and happier and happier. Like, I already know. I haven't even experienced my most happiest moments yet. I'm still yet to experience that. And I'm so excited to experience more joy and happiness. And I think everyone deserves to experience that feeling, because it's not okay that the average person sees happiness as something that is difficult to obtain. I think happiness should be the easiest to obtain. But anyways, let's take a quick little break and we will be right back.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix. The Four Seasons is back for season 2, starring Tina Fey, Will Forte, Coleman Domingo, Marco Calvani, Carrie Kenny Silver, and Erica Henningsen. After a difficult year, your favorite group of friends continues their tradition of vacationing together, now with a baby in tow. From the Jersey Shore to upstate New York and Italy, their getaways are sure to take unexpected turns where comedy ensues. Watch The Four Seasons May 28th, only on Netflix.
Welcome back to the episode. I am happy. So, to end off the conversation I had with this guy, he said to me that while I think it's just because of your age, because you're so young, and that's probably why you're so happy, but as you grow, you're not going to be happy like that anymore. And I said, no, absolutely not. It is not because of my age. I didn't tell him my past or anything. He doesn't know anything about me. But I said to him, no, it's not about my age. It's about what I choose to do. In fact, I think that, like I said before, as I grow, I'm going to become more and more and more happier, because I've literally met the most beautiful people who are so happy, and they're older and they have kids, and you can literally see the light radiate in their face, and they look so young because of how happy they are. And seeing those people, they have inspired me to want to grow, to want to experience, to want to learn more, because I know that even as I grow, I'm gonna still be happy. I'm going to be okay. So, yes, I don't think happiness is exhausting. I think suffering is exhausting. And people deserve to know that joy is possible for them. So, yeah, that's today's episode. And obviously, before we end, I do have 3 affirmations for you. So, as usual, I will say each affirmation 3 times and you repeat after me. So, the very first affirmation is quite simple. It is, I am happy. I am happy. I am happy. The second one is, I choose happiness every single day. I choose happiness every single day. I choose happiness every single day. And lastly, happiness comes easily to me. Happiness comes easily to me. Happiness comes easily to me. Okay, thank you guys so much. Please choose happiness. I promise you, if you take the advice I give you and you apply it in your life, you will see changes in your life. 100% guaranteed. 100%. So choose happiness, choose joy, choose yourself. And remember, as always, I am what I am, and I am everything, and so are you. And please don't you ever forget that, okay? See you in the next episode. Ciao.
Electricast.
I'm sure there is going to be more than one unpleasant surprise before we're done.
Let's go! If you like the kind of podcast where the truth gets weird, you'll love Debugged with Patrick Bass. It's where true crime crashes into AI, conspiracy meets comedy, and no topic is too strange to touch. From hackers to ghost hunters, cult survivors to code breakers, Debugged brings wild guests, real stories, and zero filter. New episodes every week. Search Debugged with Patrick Bass on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your next obsession. Decoding the truth.
Electricast.
Hey guys, this is Peter Rafelson, and I am the president of Electricast Media, and I am so honored today to introduce you to an upcoming podcast called Coding and Jamming with Jacob, and I have our very special guest and host of the show, Jacob Deal. Say hello, Jake.
Hey everyone, looking forward to getting started with you.
Tell us in 10 seconds what you're going to be doing on this show.
I'm going to be teaching everyone how to code from C to JavaScript to HTML, and on the side we're going to play a little music. I think you're going to learn a lot.
Sounds educational and fun. Count me in wherever you listen to podcasts.